Hi guys, and welcome back. This is City Skylines 2, San Francisco Bay Reimagined. I'm your host and creator Legio, and here is our city of San Francisco, the alternative version. I kind of like this view. We've got the water back here, Golden Gate Bridge with some mountains behind it. Got our city starting to develop a little bit. Got some buildings that seem a little out of place right now, but that's okay. They will be in place sure enough. So yeah, this is our city. I think it's coming along quite nicely. Gotta say, pretty pleased with some of the things so far. There are some things in this game that annoy me a little bit. But I mean, mostly it's because I got spoiled with City Skylines 1 mods. But anyways, let me give you an idea of what we're going to be doing today. And to do that, I'm going to be utilizing some Google Maps. Let me get that pulled up real quick. Alright guys, so here's our overlook at San Francisco. I do think they did a pretty good job with recreating it. Looks pretty spot on to me. Probably not one for one, but close enough. But what I want to use this for right now is to showcase kind of my idea of what we have. I don't have the ability to do it yet, but I do want to take the bridge they gave us and turn it into something more similar to this. There is a way to double decker in City Skylines 2. It's just real finicky. Takes a lot of time, and then we'll recreate the interchange that we have into something similar to this. Probably not an exact recreation, but today I want to focus on getting some industrial and commercial demands met, and I think we're going to use this area as inspiration, and we're just going to go for it. Okay guys, so before we really get into this, let's go ahead and get the tiles we're going to need. We're going to buy up the rest of this little area down here, I believe. That is 5 tiles. Alright, let's go ahead and purchase those, and then let's get into what we're going to do real quick. Alright, so I know a lot of people have been having trouble with some of the terrain features. One thing I found that worked for me is go ahead and remove the water sources. Like, I'm going to remove this here. I don't want this. So we're going to take our level terrain, grab right about there, and go ahead and get rid of it. And then when you get water sources gone, if you can't build the roads on it or plot buildings, go ahead and make a second save and then come back into your save game and see if it's able to build on it, because sometimes the game gets wonky. Like right there, it's saying I'm in water. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna click save, and then I'm going to do this, just say water test, click save. Okay, so as you can see, we can now build on the area where the water was. I don't know what that issue is. It's something they'll probably have to patch, but that's one of the ways I found to fix it, is remove the water that was there, save the game in a new save, and then reload that save, and then you should be able to build on it. But anyways, let's go ahead and get a basic shape for a harbor. It's not going to be a harbor right out the gate, but we are going to get a basic shape for one. So I want to kind of do this. Alright guys, so there ended up being a lot of fast play in this session of the video, mainly because I was making awkward commentary and there was a whole lot of me sitting there with my mouth wide open trying to figure out how to do certain things. At this point I was still trying to figure out how roads and everything were working in the game. So hopefully you enjoy fast play, but I'm going to take this time to kind of talk about how the series is going to play out. I do intend on trying to put a video out at least once a week, possibly every 2 weeks. It kind of depends on what my schedule does. My actual job is pretty demanding. Do a lot of overtime there. So if I don't get a video out every week, please be forgiving and understand that, you know, I don't make money from YouTube. So anyways, I think you guys understand that. But with all that said, it does seem like you guys are somewhat enjoying the series. I do have a very wonderful comment here from Mr. Grand Spectrum, put him on the screen, saying he hopes I continue uploading these and that no one else is building on the map. And I think he's right. I don't think anybody else is building on this map, because I think a lot of people looked at it and they weren't interested in it, or they thought it was too challenging because of the hills. But we're going to do the best we can with it, and I appreciate your comment, Mr. Grand Spectrum. And I will continue to put these out in the foreseeable future as best I can. So anyways, what's going on screen? Right now I'm setting up what's going to later be the Harbor District. This is going to change a little bit going forward, but I wanted the bare bones, so to speak. And I do later convert the roads into key roads. I still struggle with getting that. I watched a few videos and I got better at it. I still think it's a little touchy, and I think it's something that the developers can work on and improve in the future. I'm not demanding they do it, I just hope they do it, if that makes sense. But as I was playing through, I did learn a few new tips and trips with the roads. So I'll be cleaning up the roads and zones later. Like I left a certain snapping feature on that kind of messed up all my zoning. I noticed as I was playing, I wasn't sure how to fix it, but I guess I was more concerned with playing than learning how to play, if that makes any sense. So anyways, with this harbor area, it's going to expand when we actually unlock the harbor. I want that to be a little further down the road. There's some other things I want to get built first. And then the harbor is going to come in right about the time we really have a demand for cargo. Because we do put the cargo train in soon. That's in an upcoming episode. And the demand isn't really there yet. So why have two means of cargo transport when you don't need it? So, you know. But anyways, let's talk about what we have going on screen. I struggled with this area a little bit because looking at it without the contour lines on, it looks relatively flat. There's no terrain breakage, as I call it. There's no tearing. So I had to flatten a lot of the area out and just slope it. And what I did here is I built a bridge. That bridge was a little bit more difficult to build than you'd think because it kept saying it's in water, it's unbuildable, all this. So I had to finesse that in a little bit. You can see me do a lot of that on screen. I tried to maintain as much of that as I could. There were a few rage moments with it, a few minutes of me throwing my hands up in the air saying I give up, but we eventually got what we needed. It just took a lot of time. So yeah, with that harbor area being built, that sets me up for later episodes to get everything really shaping up. And I wanted to build that early because if I don't build it early, I don't get, like later on, the city just doesn't look right because I try to squeeze it in. So I set up my industrial area pretty early in these games. What I'm building on screen here is, I call them one-way parkways. I try to make a really high-speed way to get from the industry area in and out because there's going to be a couple industry areas. My idea was for this to run along the coast, but eventually I scrapped this later on because I'm going to move it, if we're being honest. One will exist, I'm just not sure where it's going to go at this point in time. But I like to build these, and you guys can steal the idea. I like to build these because they come in handy keeping traffic off of your, I call them off your main arterial roads. So that road that feeds into that roundabout keeps them off there, keeps them from going into the residential areas down here because I start connecting them up like this. And yes, I'm aware the roads I'm using are the highway roads. I know that now. At the time, I just was building like crazy. I had my music going, I had my coffee in my hand. I wasn't paying attention, so I was building highway roads like they were residential roads. I do fix this, you'll see me fix it later on, but you at least get the main skeletal idea of what I'm doing here. So that highway is going to get really changed whenever we start getting some mods or new features into the game, because what I really want to do is I want to double decker that highway right now. I want to have one going over the other because that's kind of what they do in San Francisco with their bridges and everything anyways. I couldn't get it to look right currently right now with the vanilla play because every time I try to stack it, it kept saying I was hitting a pillar. I can't remove pillars yet, at least not that I know of. So down the road, that the highway is going to get reworked, and I think it's going to look better. But we do build a new interchange. It's coming up here in a little bit. I forget at the timestamp. But we do build a new interchange that I think looks better. I don't like using in-game interchanges. There's nothing wrong with them. I just feel it's a little cheating. I like to build my own, make it my own, if that makes sense. I don't know if cheating's the right word. It feels cheap. There it is. We'll go with cheap. Sorry, my dog saw somebody outside and she didn't like it. So yeah, we're just finishing up some roads here that are eventually going to get demolished and reworked anyways. So I spent a lot of time on roads that I later get rid of. But I think we all do that in the city. So while I also have you here, I was going to see if you guys were interested in me bringing back something I did in my last series of Mohegan, which is kind of little history lessons. If you aren't familiar with me, I have a degree in history, primarily American history, and also in classical history with like the Romans and the Greeks. I know it's a weird pairing, but I like what I like. So I was going to be interested if you guys were interested in me bringing something like that back for San Francisco. I don't mind doing it. It'll take a little bit longer because I want to research the stuff and make sure I'm giving you correct information. So it adds a few more hours of work to make sure we get it. And then, finding out what you guys are interested in history-wise, because if you ever know anything about history, it can go 100 different ways. There's thousands of different avenues of history. If you understand what I mean, if you ever start reading history. So yeah. Let's see, checking my notes. That's pretty much what I had on my notes. Oh, besides this last thing. So this came up with that YouTube comment I showed you earlier I picked the San Francisco Bay map for a couple of reasons. I picked it because I've always found San Francisco kind of fascinating, unique. I live in the Midwest, so San Francisco is almost like a land of mystique. It's so different than where I'm from. I've never been, but everything I see, it's just so different than where I live, because I don't know how to explain it. People where I live basically look at San Francisco as, some of the terms he uses, liberal wonderland here, good old Midwest, but it's just got kind of a foreign mystique to it, even though it's the same country. It's kind of a weird dynamic. I'm sure people in San Francisco kind of look at people in the Midwest the same way. It's just very different. If you're not from America, you just don't understand how different some of our cultural and regional differences are. It's not bad. I think it's good. I find San Francisco fascinating. It's one of the reasons I picked it. Another reason I picked it is because, like the comment said, I didn't see anybody else working with the map, which was kind of crazy to me because it's literally in one of the prepackaged DLCs. You paid money for this map. If you got it, why not use it? And that was my theory behind it. It also offers a really unique challenge because, like I said, this map, now we had minor off-screen adjustments on that. I'll get to that in a second. This map offered a lot of interesting topography. There's way more hills than you expected, which I know if you live in San Francisco, you're like, yeah, no crap. There's a lot of hills here. And I found that out researching it, but just looking at the map in City Skylines, it doesn't look that way, so give me a break. But anyways, let's talk about the interchange. So I kind of went for a unique spaghetti style interchange here. Again, it's going to get changed, but I have these ramps that split in different areas, and thanks to the new features they have in City Skylines 2, I was able to make right turn onlys, left turn onlys, and I think it will keep traffic flowing really, really well. So I'm pretty happy with the way that interchange turned out for now. Again, I know it's a temporary build. It was also kind of a practice run for building interchanges. I'm sure you guys know what I mean, just getting familiar with the road tools, how things work, because things are different in this game. So what I do here is I replace those footpads, and I replace them with alleyways. And I'm hoping I've been watching during the simulations. No one's using those alleyways right now because the speed limit's so much lower than the actual road. So I think it's working as intended, mostly just a visual piece. In reality, those alleyways would be used for like services like garbage trucks and stuff like that. Homeowners to pull into their garages in the back and stuff like that. That's what they're ideally there for. I don't know if the game's going to figure that out. But hey, that's basically all I had for my notes, guys. So hopefully you're enjoying the build. If you are enjoying the build and the series, please remember to leave a like and or subscribe. If I like your YouTube comment, or you're the only YouTube comment, I will put it up on the screen. I will give you a shout out, and I do appreciate everything you guys do for the community. All right, I'm going to let you enjoy the fast play without my voice ruining it for you. Alright guys, so we're back live and we got quite a bit done here. Our industrial area is taking shape, starting to finally fill out, and we still have plenty of demand for it down here. I really like the beginnings of what we're going to have for the harbor. I'm not going to expand on this too much until we actually unlock shipping. And speaking of unlocking, we do have some progressions that we can go through. I've looked through, so we can unlock the harbor right now, but I think I'm going to go ahead and unlock the train because I want to do something with that in a little bit. And then next I'll probably get the tram. I got 1 point left. Let's see. Off screen I unlock parking areas because I'm going to add that in the next episode. But for 1 point, what can we get for 1 point? College, I think it's too soon for that. Welfare office might not be a bad idea. Parks. Ooh, parks would be good to get. Alright, so that sets us up pretty nicely. So that's progressions. Yeah, so I think in the next episode we're going to work on some of the stuff we got. And yeah, with all that said, let's go ahead and end this with some very pretty cinematics because I finally figured out the camera mode. See you guys next time.